everybody? Welcome to another episode of KAP Sports. We have a lot to get into tonight. We're going to recap the Iron Bowl. We're going to talk about all the rivalry weekend chaos
Rivalry week
that happened this past weekend and every game that had a fight in it. And we're going to get into a little bit of NFL talk. But we got Peyton joining us on set.
P. Diddler.
He's no longer behind the scenes. He has upgraded. So congrats on your promotion.
Thank you. This is what I look like, America.
He looks just like me with red hair and is about
6 inches taller.
And it's not because I'm short. He's just a giant.
Yep. All right. So Iron Bowl, roll tide.
That's right.
Tide. I'm glad the team could get it done when we had one person who actively appeared to be, putting us at a deficit. Trying to, what I'm talking about. You know the man. You know the name. I mean, it seemed like Milroe is who I'm talking about, was attempting to throw the game.
Sabotage?
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, he played really good. Aside from the 3 turnovers, you got to hang on to the ball.
I don't get it. Like, as boring of a game as it seemed to be, like Auburn, we hadn't watched a lot of their games. We caught what we could. We just knew they weren't that good and the quarterback issues that they had. But it was apparent that Auburn has not been really good this year because Bama gave them 4 turnovers and they weren't able to capitalize. We still won by 14 points.
Yeah, still won. Yeah. And I don't believe any of those 14 points were off of any of our turnovers. I don't think any. So. Yeah, I think they just scored them straight up on offense.
Yeah, they had a few series in the first quarter where it was like, okay, this looks a lot like last year. Like, looked like Peyton Thorne was getting to a rhythm. Jacquez Hunter looked like a stud.
He was scrambling. He was running. It's like, can we not guard this guy?
Yeah, like, are we doing that? He's not even our true running quarterback, but are we really about to make him one?
We're about to make him one.
It's
about to be Jackson Arnold 2.0.
I didn't feel like Auburn, though, ran the ball as well or as much as I expected them to. So how well they've done this season running.
I was watching the game in enemy territory this weekend and hearing all the Auburn fans talk about, that Jacquez Hunter?
Jacquez Hunter.
Yeah. Hunter. Because I know he had a big game last weekend against A&M, and they were saying, like, why can't they just do that again against Bama? Because Bama is prone to give up, big rushing game to the opponent.
Yeah, well, if they're a running quarterback.
If they're a quarterback,
not so much a running back.
I don't know. Our defense played good enough. They got a couple turnovers good. I don't think we got a lot of pressure on Thorne. It's just when Thorne would scramble out of the pocket, like, whoever that side he was scrambling to, he wouldn't give anybody a chance, it seemed like. If that person wasn't there, that thing was going out of bounds. And, like I said, watching the game around a bunch of Auburn fans, it was they called everything what was going to happen, like, for Auburn. It's like, he's going to scramble, he's going to throw it out of bounds. Or, when Bama was on offense, we were 12 of 18 on third downs.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty
Every
solid.
time it was 3rd and long, too, like 3rd and 5+ that we were converting these third downs on, and they were like, it's going to be a first down. It's a first down. Just about every single one they called, I was like, wow, this is good to see. Yeah.
So, going back to Milroe for a moment.
Yep.
So, we've talked about the past couple of weeks, but it's been apparent throughout the season when Milroe rushes, whether designed or a breakdown in a passing play, he likes to bounce it outside, and whenever he's within a foot of a first down a lot, he'll get more east and west.
He'll try to juke.
So I will say this past weekend, he must have heard from some people because
he's watching the podcast.
I hope so. This past weekend though, it still happened a couple times where he got more east west, but a lot more often was he getting north-south.
Falling forward.
Getting those first downs for us and hitting the hole the right way.
Is it just me, or did it seem like he was great at avoiding pressure in the pocket, too?
Oh, yeah.
He was avoiding sacks, bouncing. It looked like for a few drives there, he was moving around the pocket like Joe Burrow. Just
some high praise there, Peyton.
he was moving pretty good in there.
Yeah, he was.
I love my favorite play, I think, when we get Milroe running is the play action. I know one time for sure it was a play action to Jam Miller, and obviously Milroe kept it, and Miller became the fullback. And then Milroe took off. Like, why can't we run that every time?
That was a great play. No, I agree. That was a fantastic play. I don't know why. Maybe they just
to add another wrinkle in that. You can have your tight end in motion to that side, play action, and then you got two more blockers on that side. I don't know. I mean, it's just Milroe ran more confidently this weekend. I think like he still threw for over 250 yards. He didn't have a touchdown, which Ryan Williams. I know we talked about it before the show. You were saying that when he went to jump and catch it, he was clipped. He was clipped from behind and may have altered his eyes of where the ball was, but that ball hit him right in the chest.
I did him in the chest.
Catch the ball.
No, that's a catchable ball.
He's running underneath it. He has his head like this running, and the ball is coming perfectly
as
over
crazy as he's been all year.
I don't disagree.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
that's
I'm
the
just saying
expectation.
realistically, for one, he's still human. For two, he's 17.
Well, if he's 18, he catches it.
Definitely next
So,
year. He's catching it next year.
Yeah.
It's a great place ball. It further proves what we've been saying all year about
Milroe's a
that he's
great
deep
ball.
ball passer.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's the same pass that he threw to Williams in the LSU game, but the ball weighed probably about 5 pounds more, and it was wet, and he wasn't wearing any gloves. There was no excuses for maybe him being clipped a little bit when he jumped.
I mean, it's not like he caught the ball first or had it in his hands and then was hit. I mean, he was hit at the exact same time the ball was coming down.
Yeah.
One other thing too about Milroe it became quite apparent to me this weekend, and I don't know how it hadn't throughout the year, but it really just honed in on me this weekend was how we do a lot. You spoke on it a minute ago, but the RPOs, right? Dude, he never. It's like 95, if not higher, 95% of the time keeps the ball. He never hands it off.
Because
you think that's a deficiency in reading, or
I think so. I don't think he has that.
Everything's a little too fast for him right now.
Panics and keeps.
Yeah. Well, that at the same time, it's like okay, he can throw it, and at the same time, he's still able to run, which. Milroe is so much better when he can run.
He's so elusive.
He is, and he can run, but we haven't gotten the benefit of that with him doing that this year.
Yeah.
At least the past, 7 games, really.
Well, and then you watch, Jalen Hurts from Sunday Night Football last night, or yesterday afternoon, running the RPO.
Yeah.
And he can still sling it.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, I'm sure we can all agree we're very happy with the win. It should have, no doubt in our minds, been
I wanted
a
one
much
more touchdown.
Bigger win.
Yeah.
But no, I'm very happy with our defense.
And congrats to the seniors, the 5th-year seniors and the 4-year seniors has
Malachi
never lost
Moore.
in the Iron Bowl.
Malachi, yes.
Congratulations.
Yep.
So I mean, he got penalized in that scuffle, which I don't understand how.
It was just Bama. I'm glad you brought that.
Yeah, it was just Bama. Not only that, but how he got penalized for it when he wasn't even involved in the initial scuffle like Devontae Smith was, because he was the one.
He got rode out of bounds.
Yeah, he got drove out of bounds. Yeah. And then, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Malachi was like the 4th person to get over there.
But yeah, that was ridiculous. That was some of the worst officiating I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. DeBoer, I would have liked to seen a few more Bama guys go over there and just throw hands or whatever to get into it. But it only looked like it was Devontae Smith, Malachi Moore. I want to say whoever the other corner was on that side. It may have been Jackson.
Is it Damani Jack?
Yeah. It was Damani.
But let me see
good
Tim
time for our
Keenan
fans to rush the field.
Let me get Tim Keenan over there, start throwing his
dreads
big ass around. Yeah.
Put someone in a headlock with one of those dreads and.
Oh, now.
Yeah, but for Bama to get the only penalties from that is absurd.
Unreal.
Yeah, and it was 2 of them. I can't believe they didn't charge.
I would understand if we were. I would understand if we were at Auburn.
Offsetting penalties, both sides penalized.
We got 2 penalties, and then one of them
was enforced.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
I would accept that at Jordan Hare, but not Nick Sabanfield.
So, man, I already forgot we call it that. Like the first few weeks of the season, is going to call that quite often, but haven't been.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No, it doesn't.
Not yet. No, when you introduce it 4 weeks into the season, which I love it. I mean,
it's cool. I don't
just go to a university drive.
I don't feel
because it was a Georgia game.
I don't feel like that. It completely honors his legacy. Just naming his name should have been added to the stadium name, like
to the city.
Yeah.
Nick Saban City.
Or just make a frat for him. Just say the Saban frat.
Saban frat.
Yeah. Come up with some
a lot
symbols.
of applicants.
Just put up the Roman numeral
You have
6 up there.
prerequisite. You have to drive a Dodge Charger
Yeah.
and run a 4.4.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of fights, though,
Yes.
for all the watchers out there,
Yes.
if you're following us, that means you probably follow along with college football quite closely as well. And my goodness, there were
Anytime you
so
flip the
many.
channel, there was a fight going on.
Baker
was
Mayfield
crazy.
was ahead of his time
Yep.
7 years ago when
Yep.
playing that flag. He did not know the trend he'd be setting
He did not.
years later.
So let's open up with the Ohio State Michigan game.
That was a just total fisticuffs.
So Ohio State gets that interception in the end zone with like 6 minutes to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's by I couldn't tell you his name, number 33. He was the one at the end. There was a video that came out of Ryan Day looking at this player,
Yep.
saying, "We can't let them do this. Is our field." Blah blah blah. First of all, you have been arguably the best, most consistent team in the country all season long, outside of your hiccup against Oregon.
Yep.
Okay, you are hosting a very bad Michigan team, like very bad.
Yeah, he's lost head coach,
A 500 team.
star players.
Yes,
Yeah.
reigning national champions. You had your chance to fight during the 60 minutes of the game. It's okay to feel disrespected during that, but you deserved it. And I love the flag spike.
Yeah,
on-
no, that's where
on the home
rivalry
field.
I think
week
it's
is all
all
about.
Like Baker, like you said, Baker Mayfield set that trend years ago. It's a beautiful thing. It's a big
Yeah.
just slap in the nuts when somebody else does it on your home field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm here for it.
Yeah, I love it.
Because
But-
Florida tried to do that at Florida State. They weren't having
Yeah,
it.
Mike Norvell.
Norvell.
Yeah,
He went over
He's
there.
the one that went over there and ripped the flag. I was like,
It's like, first of all, you guys have no business
Yeah.
trying to defend
Dude, he's
your
such a
stadium.
loser.
Yeah, Mike Norvell looked very weak.
we'll
in
get
that.
more into that team in a minute, but I just want to say briefly, did y'all see that Gus Malzahn left UCF and is now the offensive coordinator for Florida State?
I did not.
Yeah, as of yesterday.
Wow. Somehow I missed that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is this a trusted source?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like ESPN's pretty trusted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
But I have it on my phone.
News.
Sure it wasn't
for them.
CT ESPN?
It wasn't Antonio Brown. No, it was ESPN.
Crack of the day, Gus Malzahn. It's
That's a lifetime. Hey, look, if we became cracker of the days, I would put him on tombstone.
Look that up. You got the laptop. Confirm it.
Let's look up some old
Our
Gus.
thesaurus over
The
there.
Gus bus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ohio State, real quick, like you had no business losing that game. I understand rivalry games, you can take all the records, all the stats out the window, but like Ohio State should have handedly won that game. You're at home, you control your own destiny, you win that game, you're in the Big Ten championship. Now with that loss being upset like that, Penn State, out of all teams, sneaks in the back door to play Oregon in the Big Ten
Yeah,
championship.
that's absolutely wild. Good job. Good for Penn State.
I guess, yeah.
I
Win
mean,
the games you're supposed to.
Well, yeah,
and
they
you
did.
get put in a great situation.
They did.
If Bama would have beat, Vandy and Oklahoma, they'd be sitting in the SEC championship right now.
The thing about the Vandy game, after thinking about it, was the rest of college football that played Vandy after us had the luxury of watching our game as film.
Yeah, because
that's what
Vandy had
Oklahoma
not
did.
been the same since
Right.
that game. They've been good. Like, they jumped out to an early lead against Tennessee. And it's like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
But then
And
it's
they,
like
they dropped the ball 17-0 at half.
Same
right?
thing with Georgia Tech.
opening
and
kickoff
Georgia-
return for a
Yeah.
touchdown.
I mean, unreal. Like y'all
Get a
had-
pick or
y'all
you
had
get a turnover.
huge lead, and you squander it in the second half.
A 60-minute game. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there are two halves. Sad day.
How do you feel about this parity or perceived parity in college football? Do y'all would you rather see that dominant 2020 Bama, 2019 LSU, or do you like seeing these upsets and shakeups and the chaos and the rankings?
I love the chaos.
I think I'm here for the chaos.
Only
No,
if
I want Bama.
only when Bama isn't part of one of those chaotic games.
Yeah, no, I just want Bama dominating 24/7, 365.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for Bama's sake, but everybody else, I don't care what they do. I'm here for all the drama as long as Bama
Bama.
and everybody.
Honestly,
yeah.
I would have been fine with 3 losses as long as they are competitive losses. I could handle that. And
Two
then
of them.
Two of them.
One of them.
One of them was 1,000% not. One of the other one against Vandy was
Our defense was non-existent at that point of the year.
Yeah.
So
Really don't even know that you could blame them, the defense, because it's just
The offense
you
scored
don't
35
train for the triple option. I mean, I guess you can, but it's just like
You should have. Did they just not watch film? Were they all hungover that week after Georgia?
because this is going way back, but it was like 2011 Georgia Southern at Alabama, and they did the triple option and ran for 300 yards.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just
It is. It's hard. It's hard to play against, no doubt.
Yeah. Especially if you prepared for it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's fair to take anything away.
But
from
if
Vandy.
it's
They
ran
just-
the right way, like if it's ran great, there's not a lot of defenses that can stop it.
No.
Yeah.
You just got to hope that
when there's
somebody on that side screws up.
3 potential outcomes from one play. I mean, it's hard to play. Prepare for.
Yep. Another upset. I don't know if you really can call it an upset. South Carolina beats Clemson this weekend, which was huge, I think, for Bama.
Bama. I think it was.
Miami loses to
Syracuse.
KJ called that the other night. He said, watch out for Syracuse, which Miami was up big early.
Yeah.
There was like a 24-point lead or something
I was
like
going to say,
that.
wasn't it like 38-10 or something?
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that?
and Syracuse stormed all the way back.
And then,
Crazy.
What's his name? Callum McCord,
Yeah.
the number 1 passing leader in the country. Or it's back and forth between him and Shador. But yeah, 1 or 2. Let them back into a winning position
That's
and won
tough.
the game.
Was that place called the Carrier Dome?
I don't know.
Not sure.
Syracuse?
They're in New York, right?
Yeah.
Is it the Carrier Dome? Or did I just
I'm
make
not
that
sure.
up? The opportunity to shine, man. I just threw you an
Carrier
alley-oop.
Dome.
Just look up Syracuse
Stadium.
Stadium.
I think it's called the Carrier Dome because they played their basketball games in there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, that was a big upset. That game,
JMA Wireless Dome. So
All right, Google the Carrier
but
Dome
I guess-
so I can see what it is. Sorry, guys.
Carrier Dome.
Classic me.
I think that must be a nickname for it because JMA Wireless sounds like a cell phone provider.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they just call it the Carrier Dome as like
It's like Carrier. Yeah.
as a joke or something, or just a nickname,
Yeah. I don't think it would be a joke. Yeah.
or nickname.
I'll take it. So Georgia Tech and Georgia.
Huge.
Georgia Tech was up 21 to 12. 20 to 12 with 6 minutes to go
it
in
was
the
like
game, I think.
Yeah, it was like something like that. But yeah, there's like 5.5 minutes left in the game, and then Georgia
Their
scored.
quarterback fumbles.
Dude,
Man.
On a game-sealing drive, he
so
fumbles.
we're gonna clip this in. So Facebookers, you will have to watch the podcast because we're gonna get the clip. I believe whenever Georgia Tech's quarterback fumbled that ball, that he was targeted. That it should have been a targeting penalty because as phenomenal as a play it was by that white defender, former walk-on, now scholarship player, phenomenal play by him. But he led with his head down, crown up, went directly into the quarterback's
Yeah, man, his
face.
eyes were down on the ground.
So in all actuality, that should have 1,000% been a penalty.
As long as it could have been seen, because they hit that. I mean, you're right in the middle of all the linemen. So I don't know.
I mean,
I can see where it could have been called.
it should have been called. Like, in reality, that's what it was. It was targeted.
But he's not their best running back. Why not just hand it off? They're
He's
running.
not their best running back.
I know, but their
Yeah.
running back had a great game too. Like,
Yeah,
just
he
keep
did.
handing it off to him.
I think he'd gotten hurt a series or two before on a deep pass where he came up kind of limp. So he may not even been in. But it's 4th one. I mean, the quarterback had already run for over 100-some yards against him. So
No, I mean, it worked all game.
look,
I get it.
I'm here to say that if Georgia Tech and Vandy had both pulled off wins this weekend, even with them only having 7 or 8 wins to close out the year, if I was on the committee, it'd be very hard for me not to put them somehow in the top 12. Here to tell you, those two teams,
Georgia Tech.
yes. Look, they beat Miami early in the year. They have played great football throughout the year.
Florida State. Yeah, Miami. Yeah. But Florida State, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But same with Vandy. I mean, if they pulled out that win against Tennessee, it'd be very hard for me to not. I mean, obviously that neither one of them would have made it if they didn't win. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a discussion to have been had because they're both playing great, hard-nosed football.
Yeah. Just the amount of losses that they had. Yeah, I mean, there's still several teams on that list that I think I sent you guys a screenshot of it today. there's 3 or 4 teams that do not have. It has a list of the teams like rated in the AP poll or whatever, and like their top 25 wins. Like Bama's got 3, a couple other teams got 3, a few have 2, but then like Penn State, Texas, Clemson. I want to say SMU was another one that have zero top 25 wins.
Well, Texas technically would now against A&M. Because they're ranked 20th.
Now.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
But their only other top game would have been Georgia, which they lost the head-to-head.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, the committee's got a big – guys, we're looking up at the board again. We still got last week's standings up. And we've got the conference championship games that are matched up for this weekend. We'll get more into that Friday. Obviously, the new polls will come out tomorrow night. I think there's going to be a massive shakeup. So let's go through it. So the teams that we are for sure safe, regardless of what happens this weekend, are going to make the final playoff. It's going to be Oregon, Texas,
I really would.
Indiana, SMU.
You feel that confident with Indiana?
Notre Dame. They don't have another game to lose or win, so they're stuck.
So they have the worst strength of schedule in the entire NCAA.
You can say the same thing about Penn State.
No, they actually literally have the worst. And then Army is second worst.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a lock.
I mean, I don't disagree. I'm just saying, like, I really do too. I think they're probably there.
And I think, KJ, who was on the show Friday, we were texting this morning talking about what can happen for Bama to get in. And it really only seems like SMU beating Clemson this weekend is Bama's only path to get into the playoff. Because if Clemson wins, that gives Clemson the automatic 1 through 4 spot.
How?
They'll be the ACC champion.
They'll be champs.
Power 4 champ. Which gives you that one of those top 4 spots.
I don't like that. I don't like how they're doing it that way.
And then
that's ridiculous.
And then SMU, I think, would stay in because, we've said it too. Do you punish the conference runner-up?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
Same thing could be said for Georgia. If Georgia loses this weekend, do they stay out of it?
So no, because they've already beat.
They beat Texas.
They've already beat Texas. So I don't think they'll penalize
and Tennessee.
them. I don't believe they will penalize them.
I don't think either. There'll be a late seed.
But initially, I was thinking that Texas, if losing this weekend, would still be in. But now I'm not so certain after thinking about it more. I think they ultimately will still be in if they lose, but just talking it out, if they lose again to Georgia.
Again?
That's why I said lose again to Georgia. That, potentially they could be left out.
That'd be wild.
I don't know.
Can you imagine how mad they would be?
Yeah.
Because you've been in that top, 1 and 2 seed the entire, ever since the playoff bracket started coming out.
Yep.
And then just to get left out altogether.
Yeah, I don't think
Bama's got more impressive wins than Texas does. They got more wins than Miami, Boise State.
Yeah, Miami's done. Fully believe Miami's done.
I think so too. I don't know what their path would be to get in, but
I know they have one less loss.
I think if Clemson wins against SMU, Miami stays in.
Say that again. If SMU,
I think if Clemson beats SMU, Miami stays in. That would be 3 ACC teams in the playoff. Like I said, I think SMU's safe regardless.
Fill me in. I'm not looking this up just to have the discussion.
Okay.
So why would Boise State and the Mountain West champion be in over the 4th?
Yeah, that's been an open discussion on the panel the past 3 weeks. Ever since they put them in that top 4 spot, that's been a discussion because you got the Big 12. Like are they still considered a Power 4 conference?
I'm not saying
SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12.
Yeah,
that's really your Power 4 conferences. Like you said, Boise State being in the MAC, I don't see how they could reward. Which they've only had 1 loss, and it was to Oregon. So deservingly so. If they win their conference championship this weekend, I think you could say they do earn that top 4 spot because Arizona State has 2 losses. Iowa State has 2 losses. So you would have a 1-loss MAC.
I knew it off the top of my head.
Was it MAC or Mountain West?
I think it's Mountain West, but
I think it's Mountain West.
Yeah. There's just been so much change over the last year or
That's
two.
what I'm saying.
I don't
I'm very lost in all the conference realignments.
know.
In Tennessee,
Mountain
what's
West.
Mountain West? Okay, yeah. So in Tennessee, what's they're in the playoff.
Yeah.
I think they said it after this weekend. They locked into the playoff.
Outside of Alabama, what are their quality wins? I mean, I really just can't think of anything.
Look at that, we're throwing you alley oops, man, and you're just over there looking at us. You got it.
Let's see here.
Because I know they said after they beat Vandy, and there's another lock spot for the playoff.
Yeah.
Because they'll probably move up. They moved up in the AP poll a couple spots. So, I mean, they're sitting in a good spot to stay in the playoff. Notre Dame is still locked into play because guess what? Their season's done.
Yeah.
They don't get a conference championship.
NC State, week 2, 24 ranked. Oklahoma, game 4, 15 ranked. Alabama, number 7 at the time. That's it. Three ranked wins.
Yeah. But, I mean, obviously, Oklahoma's gone on to have a really bad season.
Yeah, but then they beat us. And
that's
there's too much.
That loss is going to hang dark over Alabama.
So I've seen,
if they get left out, that's going to be the loss that
of course.
that keeps them out of it.
Of course.
Regardless of a third loss, the fact that you scored 3 points against a 5-5 team at the time, only 1 win in the conference, you scored 3 points.
Did they beat Oklahoma win this past week?
No, they played LSU.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they got smoked.
Yeah.
So LSU.
Which, at the same time, does that help?
Yeah,
Arizona State's in the Big 12.
Yes.
So who are they playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came from the Pac-12.
So they play Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Iowa State beats Arizona State, then does
Arizona
State or does Iowa State get in that last seed?
That's what I'm thinking. Will they jump Boise State as the 4, and then Boise State goes to the regular?
No, Boise State is in a different conference.
Yeah, but they're in one that's not a Power 4.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
so
yeah.
That's what we're saying. There's a Big 12 champion, 2-loss champion go in over a 1-loss Mountain West champion.
I don't think is Boise State Mountain West.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know they used to be.
They still are. Yeah, current. I looked it up.
5 minutes.
I don't know. All these conferences are throwing me off now.
It is, yeah.
It is too many.
Taking it in his wildest this year.
We need just NCAA Division I, and everything else is another league.
So many teams have switched conferences, so I just
enough of this D2, D3, and just the NCAA Division I. Everything else can be another league.
Or just make 4. Man, you can't just make 4 conferences.
Yeah, you need like freaking 50.
Yes,
yeah.
like I said, I think there's 6 teams right now that's locked, no matter what happens this weekend, into the playoff. And that's, in my opinion, I think that's Texas, Georgia, SMU, Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana, Notre Dame.
I don't know about Ohio State. I really don't.
That is a weird one.
I don't know if they're going to even make it. Yeah.
Because that's their second loss.
That was their second loss, but it was a bad loss.
A 2-loss Ohio State team
home.
gets skipped out.
At home.
And Alabama gets in.
Yeah. It won't happen, but it wouldn't surprise me potentially. I'm not saying I think Alabama would get in over Ohio State, but yeah, I don't know.
I've seen a couple sites now have Bama as the 11th seed.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're going to end
CBS
up tomorrow. But because I feel like that's why the AP poll put them at 13 last week, or the playoff committee too. They kept them at 13. It's the first team out because they wanted to keep them because they've seen the really good side of Alabama, but they've also seen the atrocious side of Alabama. So they're keeping them there in hopes that we get to see Alabama's best. Every game they have to play in the playoffs will be on the road.
Yep.
If they get in.
Well.
So, I mean, you're looking at a 12 or 11 or 12 seed for Bama at this point.
Yeah.
And I think KJ said it the other day. It's going to be between SMU and Clemson for Bama. Unless something crazy happens in the SEC championship with Texas and Georgia. Everybody else, I don't think it matters for Bama.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, obviously, once tomorrow rolls around, we'll know a lot more about where everything stands.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to do a much deeper dive come Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think anybody had any anticipation that this year, the first year of the 12-team playoff, would be this.
And there's no going back now. Too lucrative. They just have to accept the flaws and make
I've already
money.
seen talk that they're thinking of expanding to 14.
That's ridiculous.
The FCS has had a 24-team playoff for the past 1,800 years. Like, it's been 24 teams.
That's so many.
Your first 4 teams obviously get a bye. And, in FCS, you don't have bowl games, so you just play home field up until the national championship that was played in Frisco, Texas. But, 24 teams. They've made it work.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, it would have been crazy going from 14 to 24, but like you said earlier in the season, it's like you can have, like, your final poll comes out, you got your top 25, which is the only thing that everybody cares about. Okay, then you type it into a computer, let AI do its thing, and mathematically seed those 24 teams.
Yeah, I think that is.
Which you can still keep it this way. I mean, your Power 4 conference champion. It takes the bias
out of it, takes the human element out of it.
You keep your Power 4 champions, conference champions, as those first 4 seeds.
I don't even like that because, again, right now, why? Boise State,
they're not Power 4, though. That's what I was saying. Keep Power 4. Like, if you concrete that in your rules, and I don't know if that is. I want to say it is. My phone's over there, and I got a screenshot of what
I think those 4 spots. So I don't even like that. Like, okay, for instance, let's just talk about Arizona State. The other day they were ranked.
Finish your. But I just found out some crazy news. So I was looking through the college football playoff committee, just looking at the roster, and I came across this guy, Randall McDaniel, who was an All-American guard and 4-year starter at Arizona State.
Yeah.
So that's some of his bias for Arizona State, and I'm about halfway through, so that could be a problem for Bama if Arizona State wins.
I mean, he's one vote though.
But he has influence.
If they win, they're going to be in the playoff regardless, whether it's a 12 seed or a 4 seed.
But so what I'm getting at though is like the other day they were ranked like 16th, but they were projected that 12 seed due to the expectation that they would win their conference.
Right.
And I don't like that. If you're ranked 16th, you're ranked 16th for a reason.
That's why the AP poll's done nothing for anybody.
No, but this was in the college football playoff.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
This was the college football playoff. They were ranked like 16th or 14th. I'm pretty certain it was 16th.
But that's only because Boise State's having the year that they are.
Again, though, but I'm saying, though, so like if a team is ranked 16th, you shouldn't get the 12-seeded spot.
Guess what? They're going to be.
If you're 12, like, because Clemson was ranked 12th, we were ranked 13th. Clemson, at the time before they lost this weekend, was ranked 12th, and they didn't get that final seed. And that's bullcrap. The 12 best teams should get the spots.
Just I don't care. 12 straight up.
Yeah, I don't care if they all came from the same conference.
Yeah. Which they may show that tomorrow night.
I'm telling you, dude, the time zone conference thing, that's what we need to do. You get 25 universities per time conference.
Here we go.
And 12 total can make it. 6 from the west, or 2 western time zones, and 6 from the east. 2 time zones.
No central or nothing?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then you add in the relegation. So let's say you get like a 2-year term. It's like the PGA card, and if you perform, you get a renewed membership. But if there's a team on a lower division level and they like have a better record or whatever, then they drop out and get relegated up.
Oh, dude, you're talking about some like European soccer type stuff.
Sure,
that's a little out there.
But there's no
only if the kids came back year after year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Do what?
Only if the kids came back year after year.
Yeah.
For those universities.
So I want to touch on Georgia and Georgia Tech again. In fact, they went into 8 overtimes. Yeah. For one, they have the best overtime format. I hate the NFLs, love colleges. But, after, the third overtime, they started just doing the 2-point conversion.
Ridiculous.
Yes, second. After the second, they started doing the 2-point conversions. I feel like they should throw a little wrinkle in it and start making like...
It needs to be a kicking competition.
That's what I said the other night.
I literally said...
Like hockey.
Yeah, it needs to be like kicking from the 50-yard line.
After the 5th overtime, line it up.
And then field goals. And then like maybe the coaches do like a 40-yard race or something like that. Just something crazy.
Mascot fight right on the logo.
Yeah, there we go.
Arizona and Arizona State's mascots threw down the other day.
I saw that. I was curious if that was like just fake or if that was like for real.
Oh, No, those punches look real.
They looked real.
They were throwing.
They
bombs.
were getting after it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, because the kickers get bailed because so many games throughout the year in both college and NFL come down to kicking.
Yeah.
And they get to sit back and coast during the overtime after the first two.
So, yeah, that's the honest thing about it. It's funny that we kind of all thought the same thing.
And after each team gets a possession in that area, they got to walk 100 yards to the other end to do it again.
Yeah, or we could do 10 minutes of gameplay, and it's just the highest score.
Nope.
You don't like that? And then if there's no deciding win.
Trash.
But if there's no deciding win, then you go to you start at a 40-yard field goal, and you go back 5 yards until...
It's so much faster than
prolonging the game so much because you're saying you get another 10-minute
I guess that's
quarter.
True. Yeah.
That's like, overtime in soccer.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
No, the kickers need to have a
700 club has to come on, okay? They've already paid for their programming and time slot.
And the record's 9 overtimes?
Yeah.
Is it 9?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this weekend was crazy. This upcoming weekend is going to be just as crazy. There's going to be a lot of pissed off people. There's going to be a lot of pissed off people tomorrow night. There's going to be about 10 million more pissed off people come this weekend.
What the committee needs to do, honestly, especially tomorrow night with it being, it's not the final rankings, obviously, but they need to come out and say, okay, we put this team here because, they need to go through, if because they're obviously running scenarios through their heads too, and their whatever boards, whatever system they got, they need to come out and say, look, here's why we did it this way. Bama gets in if. They need to talk about the bubble teams. You say you're locked in teams. You've got 4 or 5 locked teams that no matter what happens this weekend, these teams get in. Okay, you say those. All right, then you got your bubble teams like Bama, Clemson, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Teams that are on the outside looking in right now say, hey, you get in if this happens.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would
that way it takes a
great element added to the
you
know what to expect.
You calm the flames a little bit in that because
they really just need to bring.
So there's no outrage when
some pretty good
yeah.
So you know what you're in for.
Like I said a while back was that I think that the selection process needs to be audited and broadcast live.
The thing is, though, what I just said, if they ever do that, that's going to help.
Oh yeah,
money a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Sports books and everything, because if you got the entire fan base of Alabama pulling for SMU this weekend,
oh yeah, be driving some beds.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I know KJ would love it. That man is a gambling machine. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big night. This week is going to be a big weekend. We'll go into everything that happens tomorrow night and leading up into this weekend on Friday with a huge episode going into conference championship weekend.
We got to find a new noise to make.
We got a Bama guy in the committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, nice.
Just raise your hand.
Teacher.
We see that light bulb's going off over there. All right, so we're gonna transition into some NFL. The Titans are not back.
Confirmed,
not back.
Speculation last week about it after a huge win. Yeah, that.
So you know what's good is when Twitter gets boring, that means Will Levis is performing.
Bingo.
So in the past month, it's been pretty dry on Twitter.
Yeah, he hasn't been a turnover machine.
He hasn't been the meme VP.
Yeah.
No, they made another one of them this weekend, but it was after a ball it completed on third. It was like 3rd and long. He had threw it as he was getting hit, and it panned back over to him. He gave a little to the camera. So that was his meme this weekend. Love seeing those memes.
Go ahead and get your celebratory, guy out the way.
Nick Westbrook Akine. Look at me. Nick Westbrook. I need somebody to reach out to him and show him this podcast for the past 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of glazing going on for me, and I'm just saying, pay that man. There is only now 3 receivers with more receiving touchdowns than Akine.
Dude, you know what's crazy?
I'm glad he has a guy, Levis.
He doesn't even have 400 receiving yards on the year.
He's just the red zone or just the end zone threat.
7, 8 touchdowns, 7, I believe.
He has 8 in the past 8 weeks.
8, okay, yeah. So 8 on the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He has
doesn't
been
even have Right at
fantastic.
400 or just under 400.
And he dropped another 3 or 4 passes this weekend.
Did he?
Which I didn't like seeing. But if you're getting in the end zone, that's all I care about. But we're going to go back to, the Titans getting destroyed 42-19 by the Commanders. So I saw there's a locker room clip of Jeffrey Simmons. He said the dumbest thing. After the year that you're having, what are you, 3-9 right now?
Yeah.
I think. Came out and said, I think we were, and I'm not quoting this verbatim, but to an extent he said, basically we were hungover from last week's loss.
They had won the week before.
Or win, I'm sorry. They were hungover from this last week's win against Houston. It's like, buddy.
You don't have...
Great win, yes, but, you're in no business to be having hangovers right now. You win the division, you can start having your hangovers going into the playoffs.
Yep.
I don't care. So, this loss didn't really affect the Titans in any way because they can still win the rest of their games in their division. They have the Bengals coming up in 2 weeks, I believe. But everything else, you got an idea where you just bring it on?
Yeah, no, bring it on.
Okay, yeah. So, they still got the rest of the division to play. But staying in the division, are we going to see Trevor Lawrence anymore?
I don't know.
He died Sunday.
RIP.
Yeah.
He did jump on the Twitter and say, I'm okay, I'm back home.
But do they want him to play? Because Mac Jones
looked great.
And lit
Roll
it
Tide.
up. Yeah, he lit it up.
Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Looked fantastic.
There's
Finally.
another fight that happened this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aziz Al-Shaair tried to take on the entire city
I saw a
of
clip of
Jackson.
Time
him choking Tom Brady.
I'm impressed that you just pronounced his name correctly.
Aziz Al-Shaair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, nuts.
He was a Titan.
Yeah. Great
Past
job
2
on
years.
that one.
He was one of the best players on defense.
Yeah. No, I saw that video too where a few years back, he made his apology today about Trevor Lawrence or whatever, and then I saw the same video you were talking about that where he's like, I'm not a great player, but shows the video of him choking
Tom Brady,
as
yeah.
he's tackling him. It's like, okay, buddy.
It was obvious Trevor was sliding.
Okay, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
And
Here's
what's
the deal.
tough too is
Here's the deal.
Aziz Al-Shaair's wearing that
Brace.
big ass brace on his elbow, so that was just a little added.
It's so
FU to the
easy,
head.
though, to make that accusation and claim that, he knew what Trevor was doing, and that he had time. No, dude, those guys are running 20 miles an hour. Okay?
I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is running 20.
No, he's not. But realistically, they're moving fast. I mean, the defender,
He had a chance
Ali
to dive
Baba,
over
whatever his name
him.
is, Al-Shazir, Demir.
Aziz Al-Shaair.
Whatever. Like I said, Ali Baba, Al-Qaeda. Okay, I'm just making a joke here. So anyway, he's within 5 yards and he's making an attempt on the player who has not started sliding yet. And in that time, Trevor Lawrence starts to slide. Well, he's already in his motion of...
I don't think he was all the way committed to it, though. I don't think he was committed
It's just
to
there's
the hit.
such a fine line because
Anyways, it's in a matter of 1 second or less, literally. You've all seen the slowed down tapes of it, but when you watch the full normal
Was he
speed-
engaged to a tackle? Yes, but he wasn't committed to the tackle yet.
if he's already going forward and is knowing he's going to aim for Trevor Lawrence's waist, and then Trevor slides in the middle of sliding what was formerly
Jump
his
over.
waist, he's already in the process of making that.
It was deliberate. It was intentional. It was intentional.
Because, this is one of the issues of the NFL is the whole quarterback on the sideline going out of bounds and the sliding rule.
Patrick Mahomes is
Sometimes they take advantage of it. So you kind of have to, it's hard for these guys to know when to hit
It
a
is
quarterback.
very hit or miss
Josh
with
Allen did
defense.
the fake slide versus, I want to say Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah.
And scored a touchdown on it.
80 yards.
And then-
Kenny Pickett legit did a fake slide
Yeah.
at the University of Pitt, and they outlawed it in all of football.
Yeah.
So, there's always going to be those quarterbacks who abuse it. Good on them for being smart enough. But at the same time, if you get popped, there shouldn't be this, you know what I mean? Because, like you said, when they're running 20 miles an hour, and 5 yards is 15 feet. So 20 miles across 15 feet, you have to make a decision if you're going to hit them or
No, I agree.
dodge them
100%.
in that split second. And then we're flagging guys for that?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think it's ridiculous.
I think if it
And the casual fan doesn't understand that, truly from a speed perspective.
Yeah.
It's like if you're driving 60 miles an hour in your car and then you hit the brakes, you immediately expect your car to stop. Like, no, it's going to skid 20 or 30 feet.
So we're going to transition back to the Iron Bowl real quick, talking about people getting depleted. Yeah. So when Peyton Thorne throws that terrible ball to the running back out of the backfield in the middle of the field, he just throws it up in the air. Malachi Moore had every chance to be the definition of targeting. And I'm surprised it wasn't called target. If it was at Auburn, it probably would have got called targeting. But he just stood there and just gave him a violent shoulder, and because that's one of those things too. It's like when that player's running full speed, he leaves the ground trying to catch a ball, and then the safety's just sitting there waiting for you to
catch it,
hit it, and
you just gotta give him a little love tap.
But you do have dumb players out there.
No, you do. I'm not arguing against that. I'm just
who
saying
are just like they see a player with the ball, they're trying to kill the player with the ball.
Bring that back. That's all I gotta say.
Bring back stupid football.
Yeah.
So, Mac Jones tore it up for the Jags. The Titans have yet to play them this year. So, they still got to play them twice.
Unreal, too.
And like
that was a bona fide, certified Thursday night game for, like, the last 15 years. Like, it's Titans and Jags. Like, no doubt about it. And it's going to be
they're fighting for the top 5
It was going to be the worst football game you've ever watched. 100%. Yeah. Even when the Titans...
It still might be.
Even when both teams were good... Even when both teams were good over the past few years, it was the worst football game you've ever watched. Like, every time.
We got Ridley on our side now. He can't carve us up because he carved us.
He dropped a couple. I don't know if he's scared of getting hit across the middle
Levis
or what, man.
is weak. So, his balls across the middle, like, they're low for one. So, I think he's trying to look out for the receivers. But they're not accurate at all. And there's a couple that Ridley, I know for one, he dove and should have caught. It hit him in the hands. Ridley has made incredible catches throughout his entire career playing football. When you see him drop those, it's like, oh, come on, give your struggling quarterback some confidence. But Will Levis has played. I mean, he hadn't turned the ball over in a couple. He had a garbage pick, I think.
A couple weeks ago.
He had one last weekend for sure.
And then
pick
week
6.
Before that.
It was a garbage pick. So, I mean, he's taking care of the ball. He's making good decisions. So,
Oh, bro. How about the Colts-Patriots game? Patriots were winning. Colts came back and took the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Patriots kicker attempted a 68-yarder and was like a foot short.
It was a
that was a bomb.
Are you
if
kidding?
It was probably 10 degrees warmer, it's probably good.
Yeah.
Or if he had the wind in that direction a little bit.
Dude.
It was a bomb.
Yeah, that's
if
crazy.
If it's a 67 going in, you're
on the other side of your logo, bro.
Yeah. That was unreal.
And he kicked it straight.
Straight.
Because, when we kick it that long, that far away, you got to kick it low to get it that oomph behind it. So it's amazing it didn't get blocked because a lot of those you see get blocked. And he hit it right on the money. A lot of you see him shank it or it gets blocked. No, that thing was on a deadline for the back, and then it just fell short.
Yeah. No, I just have to throw that. That was crazy. But now let's talk about winning football. And by winning football,
go ahead. You got the floor.
You both know who I mean, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, everyone. Okay, we still had Russ. Fantastic game. Threw for over 400 yards. I know you two aren't familiar with that from your quarterback room. But, yeah, then he threw 3 touchdowns. We had even Justin Fields come in for us a couple times again like he's been doing, get us couple key first downs. So, I just want to give a big shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers and to the quarterback room. Najee Harris had a big day running the ball and receiving. I believe I know for a fact he had over 50 yards receiving, may have been 60. I believe he had about 70-ish, 70 to 80 rushing yards and touchdowns.
Sorry, I didn't put those stats on there for you.
No, it's fine. I
the
didn't know the number. By the, I knew roughly where he's at.
That's why we bring you on, Peyton.
Yep. George Pickens, his main stats were he had 2 more unsportsmanlike penalties.
Proud of Georgia.
He had believe he had 70 receiving yards and a touchdown as well, though. So he
Steelers are looking good, man.
Yeah,
as long as that defense can stay
so
healthy.
The final score ended up being 44-38.
Yeah.
So credit to the Bengals.
Bengals have been scrappy all year.
Man, we were up by
let's say, weren't y'all up a little bit?
17 points, I believe.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so they scrapped back. It was a really good game though. That's the best Russ has looked probably about 4 or 5 years.
They found something. He found a resurgence up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming the whole way, just because it's the Steelers.
Oh, speaking of,
It's
sorry, finish.
It's just like with, NBA, with what little knowledge I have there, or baseball, just those classic organizations in their reclamation projects, they always seem to get them right.
Yeah.
Where they'll be a 37-year-old guy who sucked for last 3 years on the, the Rays or whatever.
I thank God that we didn't get Daniel Jones.
Who's we? The Steelers or the
Steelers,
Titans?
yes. In this instance.
But so I was going to go back and say, Russ has found, success playing in cold weather, but it was cold in Seattle. But Brownlee Jr., the cornerback from the Titans, I want to say he's a rookie this year, came out and said another dumb locker room quote, saying that the cold weather probably affected how they played too.
Right.
Don't say that stuff, bro. You're in the NFL. You play in the AFC South, which 2 of your games are going to be in warmer climates with Jacksonville, and you got a dome in Houston. But Tennessee, it gets cold in Tennessee.
Yep.
And
we have
Colts, it's dome in Indianapolis. But still, you play a lot of games where it gets November, December, even into January. Hey, it's going to be cold. You can't complain about the weather when it's cold.
Actually, I have a take since we're on cold weather.
Go ahead.
I want to see about 4 domes in the NFL. The rest, I want open air. For reasons of last night. Snow games.
Buffalo and San Francisco.
Snow games are great. It's a great visual.
Unless you're Christian McCaffrey.
So American, yeah.
Dude, I can't believe you are again. Probably should have just taken the year off, like I said.
Own nothing. Just took the hand off, and obviously you can't plant and cut as good in snow. And you saw it. The slow down clip, you see his whole leg.
Just give out.
Sucks, man. But the Bills are
they're great.
so dominant.
Josh Allen played a heck of a game after getting engaged to Hawkeye.
I was about to say that.
Haley Steinfeld. Big double win for him this weekend.
Yeah.
But how about the Bucks and the Panthers?
It was a wild game. The Panthers have
looked really
ever
good.
Since Bryce Young got benched, he's came back and
he's looked great.
Been great. Did you see the catch by Adam Thielen?
Yeah.
That one.
One that they reversed.
That
catch.
No,
okay. That
I heard
was
about
a clutch catch.
I didn't see the one that they reversed.
I heard that was in the end zone and they didn't call a touchdown.
Oh yeah. So going back to the single leg twice down isn't a touchdown, but now we have a new thing that's not a touchdown. Knee, elbow, and shoulder. Now it doesn't count as
any body limb's no longer a touchdown. You just have to hover in the end zone.
I don't understand it. It's literally by the group, week to week, game by game.
It is.
I don't understand it.
It is. Yeah, but
whoever's doing their training needs to probably be let go, and they need to get a new trainer in there to train these groups.
There's got to be good money in the NFL, officiating.
I've always heard that if the refs they have real normal full-time jobs and doctors and lawyers. And,
they just travel on the weekends.
Yeah, and they still make $200,000 a year getting to do that. Mm-hmm. What? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, you make about 30 or 40 SEC official.
What does your resume have to be an NFL officiation?
I think they do have prerequisites where you do have to coach high school or ref high school and college.
One of our high school classmates does Conference USA. He's a Conference USA official. Kyle Breff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done a few JSU games.
I remember him. That's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Does he bet? Let's get some insight. Do you know if he bets?
I don't
probably get him in to talk about some officiating stuff. It'd be kind of cool.
I'm just using that as a larger picture.
I doubt he bets.
I would hope.
I doubt he would come out here and say that because we would get a lot of views, and unfortunately for him, he'd probably lose his job.
Yeah, we'd probably get sued. He'd probably sue the fire.
But I do know, officials like that, they have to foot their own travel.
Really?
Stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
So I know obviously he's not making as much as he would as SEC, but still,
no, it's still something.
Several grand a year.
That's given the experience to potentially get to go to the SEC.
Yeah, because he started out of high school.
Yeah.
Working his way up. Wouldn't be a bad gig. It's got to be miserable being a football official, though. Oh, my God. Just getting absolutely hounded
I saw
the entire game.
A cool take a few years ago on Twitter. It was someone said refs should have to go on a panel after the game and get interviewed the same as players and coaches.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, what did you see in this call? when you saw this holding or whatever, this face mask or illegal formation.
Yeah, they just
Chelsea
call it, and
posted.
that's it.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
No, they absolutely should.
Players have to answer for
And
things
I don't
they
think
did. Coaches have to
I don't think
answer.
that players should be fined when after a game whenever they criticize a ref. I don't like that.
Yeah, the
Maybe
ref
they're
just
trying
has
to
to
hold the order.
The ref just gets to go home, get escorted to the hotel, and have a nice night.
Yep. It's dumb.
I bet they have aliases when they go to the hotel or
Yeah,
something.
probably. They're like the
They
Batman.
show the ID
Jason
but say a
Bourne.
different name.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Chiefs got bailed again by pre-snap that daggum McConnell wasn't ready for.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Stupid.
It's done. They're
I'm tired of the Chiefs.
Oh.
11-1.
And it's the ugliest
The
11
worst
ever.
11-1 team I've ever seen in my life, hands down.
They should easily have at least four
Four.
losses.
And there used to be a time when I actually rooted for them. Back when I wanted Brady done and the Patriots, I was like, let's go, Pat.
The next.
And now it's just like,
can
terrible.
somebody-
I
and
can't
the Bills,
take it,
thank
dude.
you for the Bills
Yeah, I
for
know.
knocking
They
them
can't
off
do
a
it.
little bit.
I want to see
The
Bills
Bills did it the
Mafia.
other week.
I'm talking about in the postseason. Where it matters.
Oh, well, we'll see.
I want to see them get their Super Bowl. Bills Mafia needs one.
Yeah. I'd like that.
I'm rooting for them too. I wish there was a situation. You texted us last night saying you wish there was a situation for us to go mop, sweep snow
Oh,
out
yeah.
of a stadium
You're
for
daggone
$20
right.
an hour. Just
Yeah, for
That's
free
such
tickets.
a cool lifestyle. Like up there.
that's got to be cool. It's got to be miserable when it
Yeah,
happens,
there's
but knowing
no-
that you have that to fall on, it's like,
Yeah, I would. You'd definitely see
what are
me
you doing today?
shoveling
Nothing. You gonna
snow
go shovel snow out of the stadium
so we can
for
get
$20 an hour?
get in for free.
It's good money,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and there's hundreds of people doing it.
Yeah.
I would definitely jump off a car or whatever onto the table too while there.
Get initiated
Yeah.
properly.
That'd be a
It's not a
fun
bad
time.
gig.
Fun time.
The game yesterday afternoon, the Ravens and Eagles, was a awesome game to watch. You guys watching?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Top two running backs in the league going at it.
Lamar,
I was talking with somebody.
Who, Lamar and Saquon? Oh, you mean Derrick Henry? Sorry. Yeah.
Derrick Henry, Saquon. I mean, I guess there was really four good running backs
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
field
yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
It's a fun game to watch. I kept waiting. I thought it was going to be a Derrick Henry and Saquon show all night long, with each of them rushing for over 200 yards,
Right.
eating it up. The Eagles are the real deal.
No, they. Yeah. I'm glad. After
Their
they-
fans travel so well. Like, just hearing them, because it was at Baltimore, hearing them, like,
It's not that far
Well,
away.
yeah, Baltimore Phillies.
It's not-
that's
they're not-
true.
they're not
Yeah,
that far away.
I
But
just
I
think
mean,
about
I
conferences.
could believe it nationally, just because they're one of those.
Them, the
They're not the
Steelers, the
Steelers
Packers,
level, but yeah,
Raiders.
Niners.
Yeah, that game was
Yeah,
incredible fun to watch. So I highlighted that game too. It was a great game, but Justin Tucker, who's had the yips all season long,
Dude, what?
they probably win that game if he does what he's done for the past however long he's been in the league.
Was he not the kicker though? Like 7-8 years ago for. Who did he play for previously?
He's been
He's
with the
only-
Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Ravens.
Who was it for the Vikings a few years, about 7 or 8 years
Blair
ago?
Walsh.
No. Just it's like 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Carlson?
Let me just finish my statement, then we can decide on who it was.
You kind of left an open-ended
But he
question
was.
there.
Oh, I'm still talking. So it was to go to the playoffs, and
Jake Elliott?
he missed it to like send them to the playoffs. It may have been against like.
Was it the one?
It was like the
Vikings
biggest
Seahawks, and it was like a 27-yarder, and he missed it.
Yeah.
And they're playing like Minnesota University when they're
Yeah.
in their.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh.
That's
Down
exactly.
belt.
Yep.
I think that was Blair Walsh.
Maybe it was.
I think it was.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why I was thinking. Maybe it's just because they're purple. I was thinking it's just
That's different.
purple.
Okay. Yeah. But now Justin Tucker, he is, I think his career low, obviously, I think it's like 70% field goal percentage. But last night he missed 2 field goals and an extra point, which they lost by, did I put the score on here? I did not
No.
put the score on here.
By 5, 24-19.
7 points
Yep.
by the kicker.
Yep. Yeah.
In a game like that, you
need it.
that's what we're saying. Going back to college, like overtime rules, like after a certain amount of time, hey, you kickers have a big impact on games throughout the year. Either reward them, give them a bigger stage to perform in. A kickoff, like a field goal competition in overtime would
Will
be
be crazy.
electrifying. And like each overtime, like you start out, let's say like an NFL extra point was at 30 yards, 32 yards, something like that. Like every overtime,
it goes back 10 yards.
Back it up 5 yards.
Yeah.
Back it up another 5.
Yeah.
Like that'd be electrifying.
That would be cool.
I still think that we ought to see like coaches like race 40 yards barefoot or something. That'd be pretty fun.
It's just
Who could?
We could just do Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, there we go.
if there was a
Let's
coach,
get crazy with it.
if there was a coach, let's say in college, let's
Dan Lanning, he's winning them all. He's the
Is he
youngest.
fast?
I don't know, but he's younger than all the other coaches.
well, definitely it's not Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
I think he's got 3 toes.
7
3
or something.
toes. Yeah.
On 1 foot. Yeah.
Literal club foot. I'm going with Dan Lanning. Just because he's young still. Everyone else, he's like.
It'd have to
30s.
be crap. What's his name? Clemson's coach.
Dabo? Oh, running down
the hill.
Oh my, yeah, dude. I hate
You got to
that
think
shit.
he's built up some speed over the past several years.
Man, that's just
running down that
that's
hill.
gravity
One of these
working with
years,
him.
his knees just gonna get old and like
Dude,
just
Look, he
fall
can't be
down.
there too long. And you got to think, like, going forward, like, whenever Dabo leaves or he gets fired or whatever, like, they got to be smart about who they hire as their next coach. It can't be some
Kalen DeBoer.
old ass that can't run down the hill.
Dude, yeah, they just rolling down the hill like Humpty Dumpty.
Just put him in a.
I'm surprised.
Just put, him on
there's-
Tuner wagon.
just put him on a sled.
I'm surprised there hasn't been more injuries over the years,
They got to practice that.
dude. Because not
You
only
have
that,
to.
not only that,
Yeah.
not only do they run down it, but like, have you seen like right after
There's
they touch
80
the ball-
people running down that hill.
Well, they like jump too. Like they come up, they like go down a hill, get to a flat spot, and then they slow.
You know what's happening to me if I do that?
Oh, dude.
Everything from here down is
Done.
going that way.
But there's so many players who jump and they jump out like 10, 15 feet and then like hit on like another awkward slope. I'm like, how is there not?
When an important player gets injured is when they'll change it.
Yeah.
They'll just keep a rock and then it'll be flat.
It's like this guy was good to play, but he injured himself running down the hill. And now they got to be smart about who they hire in the future. Though. That's a big consideration for their next hire.
Yeah.
Yes. So we good? That's everything.
So we want to talk about the
You got any
Josh
more ideas?
Allen, Amari Cooper touchdown.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that. That was crazy. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, have you not seen it at all?
You hadn't seen the play?
Was it the toss back thing?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I saw it. Because Josh Allen got credited for
The touchdown and the catch.
yeah.
And it's
So
on
Or
the
the
fourth
pass,
time in
excuse me,
history.
the pass and the catch.
yeah, I saw that and I meant to look it up on fantasy to see if he really got
He-
credited
yeah, he did.
for the passing touchdown and
He did.
receiving.
I got an
That's
alert
awesome.
for it on fantasy. I don't have them, but it just still alerted me that they're
That's
crediting
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I did
twice.
see that. I mean, what the Chiefs do that just about every other week. Travis Kelce does it. He did it last weekend, or this past weekend, against the Raiders.
Tossed it back to Pat.
No, he tossed it. He caught it it was like an out route,
Yeah.
and he caught it and then threw it back to
We need to see
Samaje
more
Perine.
creativity like that in the league. Like design, tossbacks.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be. I mean, obviously, it's gotta be the right situation, but it has to be. It can't be like a role player or like like a guy that's trying to make a spot. Because if that screws up, you're getting shot in the locker room probably. Like big game on the line, like some
They have
Joe
the-
Schmoke tries to do it and then he tosses it back and it's nowhere near. He tosses it to a defender and they take it to the house. You're getting shot probably before you get back to the locker room. It is nice to see though.
One other thing I'd like to talk about, I saw Moana 2 this past week.
Yeah, talk about it.
Kids like that one.
Yeah. Oh well.
Did you like it?
Yeah, which is great. I thought it was pretty good.
1-on-1 was good.
Moana 1 was good. The music, the songs weren't as good as the OG, which was a little sad, but it was a good movie. The last 30 minutes though, jumping.
Really?
Yeah, it really hammers home.
So that's what's tough. Like you set the bar so high in a movie, especially like with songs, because Moana 1's got some great songs in it.
Me and the kids sing it daily.
Yeah.
Take them to school.
It's like with Frozen. Frozen 1, they had good songs. Let It Go came out.
Yeah,
Frozen 2,
I like their songs. Yeah.
they doubled down.
Yeah,
made
they-
great songs
yeah.
with it too.
Yeah.
So
Moana 2, not quite so much. Still a great movie though.
I feel like the 90 to 2004 or 5 Disney Pixar films and DreamWorks are just objectively better than the modern
Toy Story.
or you think that's just what we grew up on? Because
It
I
is-
don't.
It is nostalgia, but yes, they are. They are.
Should we
better.
do that next time? Have a top 5 Disney songs? Top 10 Disney songs? We haven't done a top 5 in a long time.
Yeah.
What do you think, Justin? You get on board with that?
Might as well.
Top 10 Disney
Yeah,
songs?
he's like, I don't give a crap what you.
Because
used to.
off the top of the head, you got Toy Story,
Girlfriend.
Shrek, Smash Mouth,
Oh, we didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Life is a Highway.
Well, they're not
Cars.
They're
Yeah,
not
yep,
Pix.
yep.
They're Shrek's not Pixar. They're like Universal. They're DreamWorks.
They're
DreamWorks,
You
yeah.
get it. Umbrella. Yeah, maybe we can do that next time because there's a lot of good Disney songs out there. So are they Disney songs? Because did Rascal Flatts make that song before
Actually,
Cars, or did they make it for Cars?
I do not know. We can look it up.
And Smash Mouth, their song for Shrek. Did they make it for
No,
Shrek, or was it
no,
already?
that song was made.
Okay,
and
so
then,
we probably have to leave that off the list.
Yeah, but the Life is a Highway one that might be
Made for Cars.
I can't quite remember. That came out in 2006. The movie did. I'm not certain when the song came out.
Bruno, or not Bruno? I'm sorry. Encanto.
Encanto's
Encanto's got some good songs.
We don't talk about.
So apparently this guy named Tom Cochran
Here we go.
wrote Life is a Highway and sang it first back in the 90s.
Okay.
Also, Rascal Flatts redid it.
Yeah, is how it reads. So
Yeah, Encanto's got some good music. What is the one? Liam's gonna be so mad at me because we watched it a million times when he was a kid. Little kid goes back to the land of the dead. What's that movie called?
The
Spanish movie.
Yeah,
Coco?
Coco. Yeah, that's a
Great songs in that movie.
That's
Great
a big-
movie too.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Fantastic
Yeah.
movie.
It gets you in the feels.
Gets you every
It
time.
will get
I
you
did
in the
not know he
feels.
was. Oh man.
Yeah. Look,
Screw that singer.
you gonna cry?
No, my eyes were. That's a great movie. We did watch it a million times when Liam was a baby, though. Coco was Liam's movie, and Encanto was Cam's.
Yeah. Solid movies.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we can work
I think we
that
need
in.
to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of good.
Also, guys, so as we've talked about quite often, I wouldn't say, as we've talked about throughout the past few months, Colton doesn't watch many movies that aren't Marvel. So Interstellar is re-releasing in theaters this month in IMAX, and it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Are you taking me?
And we're taking Colton to see it,
Yay!
and he's gonna shed some tears. For those of you who've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. One of the best movies ever made, hands down. And we're gonna, get him to watch it, and then we'll come back and do some feedback on that.
Speaking of tearjerker movies, it's a Disney movie, Invincible.
Oh,
That's Cam's new favorite. When he says he wants to watch football, he wants to watch
that
Invincible.
man, it made me want to go.
I watched it
just
3 times this weekend.
try out.
I haven't
would-
seen it in a long time.
I wish teams would let regular folks just go try out. Just show
I'll
up.
tell you that. I'd just go sling the pill a few times
Yeah.
and call it a day. I'd have to be the flag football quarterback though. Like, don't put me in pads, just put a flag belt around me. I don't want to get hit. I give you about 50, 55 yards.
Yeah, Invincible is like top 10.
It is now.
It's equivalent to like Miracle as far as like motivational.
Yeah.
Miracle's so good.
When you
I
were a
haven't
kid,
seen
you
that in
loved
such a long time.
You were obsessed with that
man,
when you were
that was such a good movie.
Peyton, when we were kids, 8 years younger than us, he was obsessed with Shrek, okay? This was like right before DVD started becoming popular in the early 2000s. My aunt had gotten him Shrek on VHS, and he was like 3. Tell me why this joker watched it so many times on
Burned up the tape?
It burned up the tape, dude.
Attaboy.
And he cried for like a week about it until, my parents were like, screw this, we're going to buy a DVD player, and bought it on DVD.
You remember during the summers, like me and you would always hang out in your room playing Xbox, playing Halo, and like this Joker was always on the GameCube.
Yeah.
GameCube used to be like
I've never played the GameCube, but the only person I knew who played GameCube was Peyton.
Dude, Mario Kart, there was like Lego Batman.
The
played
only
it.
game that mattered was MLB.
Oh, MVP Baseball.
MVP Baseball 2005, where you got to like
Man,
play.
that intro was great.
Yeah, that intro was awesome. It had Manny Ramirez on it,
Yeah.
and those mini games we used to play.
The one where you hit the home run derby and there's like those
Tractors and other
cars,
little obstacles.
little arrows that would shoot the ball.
Those were
Speaking of baseball,
Man, they
games,
don't
they need to remake, since they just remade college football. They need to go ahead and remake college baseball.
we used to play that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to play that all the time on PS2.
What was it?
I feel like I
NCAA
remember you
Baseball
playing
05.
Yeah.
It had the Texas
on
Longhorns
it,
on
yeah.
the front.
Awesome.
Man.
That NCAA basketball. Just go ahead and revamp all
I'm
of
getting
them.
the whole nostalgia.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good
I
stuff.
feel way too old.
And
right
since
now.
We
we're
get
gonna
that when
talk
we
about
have you
this,
on the set.
we need to go ahead and just do Lord of the Rings games too.
Yeah, I was.
I
you go ahead and remake that Lord
Yeah,
of
I
the Rings
can feel
game.
you
That
on that.
game was
Dude.
cracked. Way ahead of his time.
What was it, Conquest, and just like the movie version games which were like frame for frame the same game movie.
Exactly.
There's like Conquest, stuff like that too, which was fun.
The online play was great, way ahead of its time. Then you go ahead and revamp all of it.
Remember Star Wars Episode 3 game?
The game, yeah, absolutely.
They had like the legit scenes in the game too.
I don't know why they just don't do that. I'm sure most games are like that, but man, just
I don't feel like they make
they don't care
video
anymore.
games or like video game tie-ins with movies anymore like they did those games.
Just redo them, bring it back.
Bring it back.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, let's go and wrap it up for this episode. Like I said, we will go again Friday. We will have a reaction to the polls that comes out tomorrow on Tuesday the 3rd. Speaking of the 3rd, we got a birthday boy tomorrow. Happy birthday, number 33. Age 33. Old ass. Still ain't got a gray hair on him. But yeah, so we will react to all the polls that come out tomorrow night. And then leading into all of the conference championships that's going on this weekend, including my Jacksonville State Gamecocks get to host the Conference USA Championship against Western Kentucky, who beat JSU this past weekend in Western Kentucky. So we got a back-to-back game going on there.
You should have done this before you did it.
Before what?
Before you started, you're closing it out and now you're opening it back up again.
No, I'm teasing for the next episode.
Oh, okay.
All right, so yeah, guys, once again, thank you for following along. Again, we are 3 subscribers away from 50 subscribers. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Reach out to your mom and them on YouTube. Go ahead and reach out to your mom and them. We need 3 more. It opens up a world of possibilities for us in the podcast.
For our Spanish watchers, that's Trace.
Oh, God. Yep, but again, guys, thank you for watching along. And as always, roll tide.
Roll
Tide, baby.